Okay, so for our first hands-on experience, we're going to learn a bit more about Markdown. So I provided you a cheat sheet for Markdown here. I already have it linked up here. You're more than welcome to find some other resources. There's a bunch. If you just do Markdown on Google, you will find all kinds of stuff about Markdown. It's a lightweight markup language with plain text syntax. It's designed to be converted to HTML and other formats using a tool of the same name. For our cases, we're actually not going to convert it into anything because we're using Markdown as basically our documents for this first part of the class. So what you need to do is create a new file, but this file is going to be in your public repo. Did I put that here? Oh, I won't, but I'll show you that. Oh, I did here. Right, so you're going to create a new file called day.md file, and in it I want you to just outline your day. Just again, this is kind of a, maybe kind of a lighter example. So, morning would be a major heading, or whatever you want to call it, midday or lunch or dinner or evening, whatever. And then, just outline your day and use at least 4 or 5 different styles in your work. So what do I mean by that? So when you look at, I'm on the link that I gave you. Here's the guide, right? Getting started, everything you want to know. Learn the ropes. You can just go to the basic syntax page. You can kick it up a notch, which is nice. But let's just go to the syntax page. So we've learned a little of this already, but this is a more extensive list. So of course you would break down your day by heading 1 as your major, because again I want, morning or whatever you want to call that, midday and dinner. And so each of them would be a heading 1. And then within that breakfast you can make maybe another heading or morning and then kind of what you do in that morning. It does give you alternative text, but you can use these up here. That kind of makes sense. Paragraph text is pretty, and this actually gives you the equivalent HTML, which is kind of nice as well. You can also do line breaks, list items, which we've seen before right here. And so this is the Markdown, what you would do. And if you were using HTML, which we'll learn in about a week or so, then that's what you would do. But for now, we're looking only at the Markdown. So what I gave you a link to was the cheat sheet, which is just basically a summary of that. So, but if you want to go basic syntax, then you can see this in more detail. But again, I want at least, and when I say 4 to 5 different styles, I mean these. So I'd see, and again, I definitely want to use at least a header 1 and some line items or some list items in there. So what I mean by that, the list items, this is the basic syntax. You could go there like I showed you, or you could just do an ordered list or an unordered list. Code is something we'll see later. Horizontal line, if you want to give a link. If you want to do an image, we're actually going to do images in our next item, which is the current topics, where you do a hello world. You're going to do an image, so you'll get that soon. And I'll show you how to do that. But we're not going to do that in markup. I'm going to show you how to do that and place it into Canvas, which should be fun. Okay, so last part of this is that you need to submit a link to that. I'll show you how to do that now. So, and this is different than what we did when we were working on the lecture. This is something you're sharing with everyone, okay? I'll show you how to do this. You write 75 words on your experience and reply to at least 1 person to get all the points for this week. I normally do 2 replies here, but I'm also trying to say this one, this is more like I know how to do this. The next one, the current topics, is the one you'll probably see 2 replies on, okay? All right, so now let me just walk you through actually how to do this. So now in here, we're going to change to our public repo. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to look at our public repo. And in here, I already have 1 Markdown file, but I'm going to create another one. And this is going to be called day.md. We're not going to put it in a subdirectory, right? And you could do like I showed you, right? However you want to break it up. Morning, I'll do... I'll make up something, right? You make up something or use whichever. So wake up, right? And then I could have dash do yoga, right? And then dash dash, yeah, go for a run, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to do the whole thing because you don't need to watch me. I could preview it, look at what that's going to look like, create day.md, working. Now you can do a couple of commits here if you need to start and then come back later, that's fine. Working, creating my week 1 hands-on file. Okay, again to the master, submit the file. Okay, so now this will be a little similar to what we did for the lecture, but it's going to be a little different in the fact that I'm going to have you create a link. Okay, so now, because this is in public, and this is what you want to keep in mind, when you place things in this public, anyone can see them. Okay, so if you click on your day, and you should see that, then what you can do here is just go up, and I think this will work. I'll have to test this out, kind of like what I said before. I just want to see something. If I copy, I just want to check out something. Yeah, right, so the copy actually only gives me that path, and it doesn't give me the whole qualified. But I'm also not completely sure I need, but let's just try that. Blob master. Okay, so let's do this. So in here, in your reply, I'm going to say my day.md file, right? And then what you can do is create a link. So in create a URL, paste that in there, insert the link, cool, and then write 75 words about doing this. Okay, in this case, that's really all you have to do. Fairly straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Hit post here and see if that worked. That did seem to work fine to do the blob that way. Okay, so that should be fine. So here's the direct link that I got, right? GitHub 82. But again, I didn't have to write all that. What I did is I just copied it from, and I'm moving between my login and the student login for GitHub. And so once I have this file and looking at it, that's when I would just grab what's in here, copy that. Oh, wrong one. Right, once I'm in here, copy that. So I'm just going to show you one more time. In here. So what I've done, and by the way, if you want to come back later and check this out, you can by editing it, right? And I do want to show you this because we'll end up using a few things in here. Right now when I wrote it, I used the insert link, but really what you want to learn over time is really the HTML itself. So let's move from this view to the HTML view, and you can see it was a paragraph. If you don't know what a paragraph tag is, don't worry, you're going to learn. href is a anchor, and it's a reference to the location. Here's the text of the link, the end of the link, and then the paragraph, and then there's the next paragraph. So if for some reason you didn't get this right and you want to modify it, you can just come in here and edit that. Okay, so I'll hit done, and that's at least a start to show you how to do this. Okay, all right, hope you have fun with this one. I'm going to go ahead and work on the next one, which is the hello world, where you're going to do pictures and print screenshots. So we'll do that next.